Yes, is the screen visible to all of you?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Yes. Starting with forms of verbs. I don't know whether any one of you have come across this one, like transitive, intransitive. I don't know whether you know or not, auxiliary verbs and all. Now, the verb and its forms. We cannot frame a sentence without a verb. Very true. Verbs are the heart of a sentence. Verbs indicate thoughts and actions. Verbs indicate when the action happened, how many things were acting. So basically, what are verbs? Very simple, doing words are verbs and can describe the action. The tense of a verb indicates time. The use of singular and plural forms indicates the quantity of these things acting in a sentence. It is often told that verbs are action words because they frequently indicate an action. Yes, of course, it's like doing words. We have done since like childhood, we have been doing this thing. Okay, now classification of verb. Verbs are mainly of two categories. One is this main verb, and this other part is the auxiliary verbs. Okay. Now, main verbs are also called the principal verbs, and this principal verb has two types. One is transitive, another is intransitive.
Ma'am, speak please loudly. Your voice is
Okay.
not coming
Can you
clear.
can you now hear properly? Yes.
No, ma'am,
Main
it's okay, but speak please loudly.
Okay. Main verbs. Main verbs can be divided into two categories. One is transitive, another is intransitive. Just like I showed you over here, main verbs or principal verbs can be of two types. Now, what are these basically? Transitive verbs. Transitive verbs, what happens over here is that they take the objects. Now, you all know what are subjects and what are predicates. Like the first part of a sentence can be termed as subject, and the second part, from where the verb is getting divided, it is known as the predicate. Like the sentence is getting divided with the verb, and that portion is known as the predicate. So over here also the same thing is happening. One is the subject and another is the object. So in transitive verbs, what happens is that we take the objects, that is, these verbs carry the action of a subject and apply it to an object. They tell us what the subject or the agent does to something else. That is, there is a subject and there is an object. What the subject is doing, that is what we are coming to know in a transitive verb related sentence. Now, next we have intransitive verbs. Intransitive verbs, the only difference is that it does not take any object. They express the actions that do not require the agents doing something to something else. Like even if there is no object in the sentence, only if there is one subject, then also there is a there's a proper meaning. We do not have to add any object. Like to fulfill its meaning, we do not have to add any object. That is what we call as intransitive verb related sentence. Now, there are certain rules. Verbs used transitively. We are starting with the most simplest examples over here. Number one says, he speaks the truth. You see over here, he speaks the truth. Over here, speaks is the verb and truth is the object. So subject is he, truth is the object. Second sentence, the students rang the bell. So over here, this rang is the verb and students is the subject, bell is the object. Articles are there, you see, the, okay, articles are there. Next sentence, he flies kites. So flies, verb. What does he fly? He fly kites. So he is the subject, kites is the object. Next, verbs used intransitively. Number 1 says, Sita speaks slowly. Let's find out the verb. Very easily we can find it out. In sentence number 1, it speaks. In sentence number 2, it's ran. In sentence number 3, it's flies. Now we are going to check whether there is a subject, whether there is an object or not. Sita is definitely a subject. But can we find out any kind of object? No. There is no object. Bird is subject, bell is subject, but there is no object. So therefore, these are intransitive. Now, what is slowly and what is loudly? These are adverbs. Okay. What is an adverb? Adverb means something which describes a verb. Adverb. From the word itself, we can conclude that adverb means something which describes a verb. Okay. Just like adjectives describe a noun, similarly, adverbs describe verbs. Yes, next topic is verbs used in reciprocation. Now, some intransitive verbs can be made transitive by adding a preposition to them. Actually, this portion is not followed. Okay, so I'm omitting this portion. Number 2, some intransitive verbs take an object after them that are similar in meaning to the verb. Such objects are called cognate objects. It's a new term, cognate objects. Number A sentence says, he sighed a deep sigh. Sighed itself means like leaving out a deep breath, right? So deep sigh, again, the same thing they are talking about. So these two terms mean the same. So that's why we are considering them to be cognate objects. Next, number B. Our army fought a fierce fight. They are already talking about fought and they are again talking about fight. So both words are same. In the above sentences, the verbs are in italic type and the objects, that is cognate, are in bold type. Oh yes, that's easily recognizable. Number 3, some verbs are used reflexively. A verb is said to be used reflexively when the verb and the object both refer to the same person. Number A says the girl killed herself. So the girl is reflecting about herself only. So it's a reflexive verb. Number B, the man enjoyed himself. You see, these are verbs, of course. The man enjoyed himself. So another reflexive example, verb. Some verbs, though, are used reflexively, but the reflexive pronoun is not used with them. Example, the tube burst. Of course, the tube has burst itself only, but the word is not used. So there are various types of sentences. These are just the examples given to all of you. The girls made themselves merry. So we are not including this word. This word is just given for you to have an idea. The girls made merry. Of course, the girls were having a chill time, a happy time within themselves, right? Now, next comes transitive verbs. Now, some verbs take two objects. One is direct and the other indirect object. Such commonly used verbs are give, ask, tell, offer, promise, send, etc. Now, these verbs are called ditransitive verbs. For example, he gave me a pen. So you see, this is one object and this is another object. And which is the subject? He is the subject. So they are talking about two objects over here. Next sentence, Ram asked her a personal question. You see, her is an object, question is an object, and Ram is the subject. Okay? Next portion. Now, next we are coming to another new topic, that is linking verb. Linking verb connects a subject to a subject complement, which identifies or describes the subject. The following sentences are descriptive, like using linking verbs. For example, the house is green. So this is a helping verb, is a helping verb, and this is showing the complement. The subject complement is green. So the house is green. It's describing the subject. Next, the house was white until we painted it. So again, it's describing the subject was white. Okay. So here was and is, these are linking verbs. Okay. Now there is certain confusing verbs. Let's see the examples. One is to lay and second is to lie. To lay is a transitive verb, like it takes an object, which takes an object. The following examples illustrate the use of the present continuous, simple past, and the present perfect tenses of the verb to lay. The verbs are in italic type and the objects of the verbs are underlined. Yes, these are the verbs, of course. The different forms of lay, to lay, you see, different forms of to lay. One is given laying, one is laid, one is has laid. And these are the objects, that is table, white horse, and egg. So he is laying the table. He laid a bet on the white horse. The hen has laid an egg. Next, to lie. To lie is an intransitive verb which does not take an object. The following examples illustrate the use of the present continuous, yes, is lying, you see, present continuous, simple past, that is lay, and present perfect tenses, that is has lain. Did you see the change? Has lain. He is lying on the sofa. This is the object, this is the subject. They, subject. On the beach, object. She, subject. She has lain in bed. In bed, bed is object. Yes. Next is to raise and to rise. To raise is a transitive verb which takes an object. The following examples illustrate the use of the present continuous, yes, raising taxes. Then the second one is simple past, that is, he raised the glass. And the third one is present perfect. Third one is present perfect. They have used have raised. So the government is raising, government is subject, taxes is object, he is subject, glass is object, they is subject, crop of barley is the object. Next, to rise. To rise is an intransitive verb which does not take an object. The following examples illustrate the use of the present continuous, that is rising, simple past, that is rose, present perfect tenses, that is has risen. So here I don't need to mark the subjects and the objects. The sun is subject and all, you all know. Here you do not have object first of all because it's intransitive, okay? So no object is there, only subjects are there. Next you have to set and to sit. To set is a transitive verb. It means it has an object. The following examples illustrate the use of the present continuous, that is setting a record. We have other examples also. Let's go below. Okay. Here, these are the examples. Okay, so here you have the subject. Here you have the objects. Two objects are there, shelf and pots. Number C, you have you as the subject and alarm as the object. Next is number B. We are talking about to sit. To sit is an intransitive verb, which means it doesn't have any object. So he is the subject, I is the subject, they is the subject. Is sitting. They have used present continuous, simple past, that is sat, and present perfect tenses, that is have sat. Okay. Next, we are moving over to causative verbs. So till here, it was all about transitive and intransitive and all the exceptions and whatever rules. Now we are moving over to causative verbs. So linking verbs also we did. Causative verbs show that somebody or something is indirectly responsible for an action. The subject doesn't perform the action itself, but causes someone or something else to do it instead. Like the person isn't doing it himself, he is indirectly taking the help of someone else. Okay, like for example, you see over here, yesterday I had my hair cut. Obviously, this person is not cutting his hair on his own. He is going to the barber shop and then cutting it. Similarly, here it's explained also, I didn't myself cut my hair, but I made someone else do it for me instead. Yes, I caused them to cut my hair. Other examples are there of causative verbs. I made him laugh. I made him write a letter. So this other person is not writing a letter on his own. Rather, the first person here we are talking about I. This person is making the other person laugh. He is making the other person write a letter. Other examples are also there, you see. He made me polish his shoes. I kept her waiting. He keeps me away from the office. So he keeps me away from the office. I shall make him complete the project today. So this person is making the other person complete his project today. Okay, causative verbs are over. Now we are moving over to the other section of the verbs, which includes the auxiliary verbs and the other, which was there? Yes, modal verbs. Auxiliary verbs can be divided into two categories. One is this primary, other is the modal. primary auxiliary verbs include is, are, am, was, were. Like these are the helping verbs. We know these words as helping verbs. We also have, has. Okay, I'm showing you. Yes, see over here. Verbs to have, like have, has, had is there. Verbs to do, like do is there, does is there, did is there. Okay, so what are coming in the auxiliary primary verbs? We got is, are, am, was, were, have, has, had, do, does, did. Okay, next we are moving over to modal auxiliary verbs. Now modal auxiliary verbs denote the mood or mode of the subject. These are can, could, may, might, should, used to, need, dare, etc. Now, this modal auxiliary verbs, I don't know whether you have gone through or not. Nowadays, this entire chapter is given in CBSE and ICSE board grammar books. I have seen that. There's separate chapter on modal auxiliary verbs now. But at our time, it wasn't there, like it's long back. But now it's an important chapter. Okay. One principal verb plus two auxiliaries. When two auxiliaries are used with a principal verb, the principal verb need not be repeated if the same form serve the purpose with both the auxiliaries. Now, this is sounding a bit difficult, but if you see the example, it will be very simple. You see, she neither can nor will help him. Now, I am using she only once, but I am talking about two things. You see, I am talking about neither she can nor she will help him. So I am talking about two parts. So why am I including only once this word? We could have used this she two times, right? Like she neither can nor she will help him, but we are using it only once because of this one. That is, one principal verb can be accompanied by two auxiliaries. Okay. Now, which are the auxiliaries over here? We just studied about modal verbs, right? Modal auxiliary verbs. Which are the auxiliary verbs? It's already underlined. Can, will. I'm again showing you the modal verbs. I just showed you. See over here. Can, could, the highlighted portion. May, might, should. Will is also there, but it's not written. Will is also there. Will, would. Okay. So in sentence number one, we got two of them. Can, will. So obviously with a principal verb, two auxiliaries can be accompanied. Okay. And we do not need to repeat that particular principal word again. Sentence number B. He did not and should not talk to him. So I am using, so here it is being used only once. That is, he did not. Instead of using he again over here, this point, he did not and he should not talk to him. We did not use he for the second time over here, again following the same rule. That is, one principal verb can be followed by two auxiliaries. We do not need to repeat that principal verb for the second time. Next. So now we came to know about auxiliary verbs, the two portions, that is primary and modal auxiliary verbs. Now we have this inchoative verbs. The term inchoative verb is used for a verb that denotes the beginning, the development, or the final stage of a change of state or condition. Now, it's kind of, you can say most of these inchoative verbs, we can say that these are in the continuous form. Okay, like in tense continuous form, we have done ing, adding of ing. Most of the words you will find like that, like it's continuing. You see over here, getting, growing, getting, once again, yes, wearing. So most of them are like that, but something which is continuing. Okay, we can say like that, something which is continuing. Like he has become the richest man in the town. The paper of the book turned yellow. Will his dream come true? Like, obviously, he is working for his dreams. So, will his dream come true? It's like in the process of happening, it's continuing. Ram soon fell asleep. The supply of water is running low nowadays. These are some of the examples. Next, we have the exercise, I suppose. Yes. The first exercise is based on, yes, 4 types of verbs we just read. Transitive. What does transitive verb mean? Transitive verb means that it has an object and a subject. Both of these are there in the intransitive verb. What about intransitive? There is only a subject but no object, right? Linking verb links both parts of the sentence. Okay, like the subject with the subject complement. What about auxiliary verbs? I told you about auxiliary verbs. There's this is, are, am, was, where, has, have, had, do, does. Then there is this can, could, will. All these are there under auxiliary verb. Now let's read the sentence. The burglar disappeared with the cash. Now, the verb is already underlined for you all to make it much more easier. Disappeared. Okay, disappeared is the verb. The burglar just ran away, right, with the cash. Can we see anything over here which is the subject, which is the object? I can see there is the subject. Now, many of you will say there is an object also. But let me tell you, cash is not the object. Why you know? Because here we have this word with. If there is a preposition or a conjunction after this word, we are not going to consider this object. Okay, we are only going to consider the subject. So we are going to consider this to be intransitive and not transitive. Again, I'm repeating this. Why didn't I consider cash as the object? Because we have this word with after the verb. Okay. And if we have any kind of conjunction, or if we have any kind of preposition, we are not going to consider the object kind of thing which is there. Okay. So it's intransitive. Second sentence. The director told the actors, do your best and we'll be a hit. The verb is already told to us. It's told. Can we find the subject and the object? Of course, this is the subject, that is director is the subject and actors is the object. Do we have any kind of preposition or conjunction in between? No, that's why we are considering actors as the object. So of course, this is transitive verb. Thirdly, he would tell me if he thought we were in danger. Okay, so which is the, yes, he would. They have already told us he would. And where is also there? No, where is verb? Would is there. So will, would, yes, will, would, all these comes under auxiliary verb. So of course, this will be an example of auxiliary verb. Would is there. I told you will, would, can, might, may, all these are there. So would is there. So it will come under auxiliary verb. Next option. Next question. His ability to concentrate is legendary. Okay. Over here, is the verb, right? Mm, this is a linking verb. Okay, because his ability to concentrate is the entire subject, we can say over here. And this is linking it with this word. So, is. So, this is a linking verb. Yes, number C. Number 5. The campers hid inside the cabin when they saw the bear. Over here, the verb is hid, right? It's already underlined for us. Hid. Okay, let's find out the subject and then find out the object. Whether we have object or not, I don't know. I'm just checking. This is the subject, that is campers is the subject, and hid is the verb. So after hid, there is a word called inside. So we are not considering cabin as the object. Okay. If we did not have this particular word inside and directly we had the cabin, then we could have like included it under transitive verb. But just because we have this word inside after the verb hid, we will not consider cabin as the object. Okay. So this will come under intransitive verb. Number B is your correct option. Number 6. Alexis is swimming in the state championship next week. Is um, here is yeah, it's linking. Number, yeah, it would be linking. Yeah, it's linking. Alexis is swimming in the state championship next week. Yes, it's linking. Because if we just remove this word is, neither Alexis has any meaning, nor this swimming in the state championship next week has any meaning. So both are getting linked with the word is. Next is number 7. Frustrated with the official's call, Ethan kicked the bench. So kicked is the verb over here. Ethan is the subject over here. And it's written the bench. We can consider article, okay? I just told you if there is conjunction or preposition, we are not going to consider that. So bench is the object that we can definitely consider. So there is subject, there is object, definitely it would be a transitive verb. Number 8, the student procrastinated too long and failed to finish the project. Procrastinated means wasted too much of time on thinking, unnecessary thinking the student did, and he just failed in that project. Failed to finish the project. Yes. Over here, procrastinated means it's a doing word. It's a verb. Yeah, the student is subject. Student is the subject. Too long they have given, and then they have given failed to finish the project. So object is after so many words. No, there's preposition also. Definitely, we are not going to consider this object project. Intransitive verb. If the word project would have been just after this word procrastinated, then we could have considered the word object. Then we could have like considered the word project. But just because we have too long and failed and to finish the project, we are not going to consider project as the object. Okay, so it's an intransitive verb. Example: the vegetarian burger tasted like salted cardboard. Oh, very bad. Okay, tasted is verb, of
Ma'am,
course.
ma'am, I am
Yeah.
interrupting you. Ma'am, please repeat the things that how we can choose the object what you have told
Which
us.
one? Number 8. Number 8.
Yes, ma'am.
Shall I
Number
read?
8.
Okay.
How we can
Okay.
choose the
I'm
object?
repeating number 8 once again. See, the student procrastinated too long and failed to finish the project. No, in normal sense, what can we say? We can very easily see that there is student. We can consider this as subject. We can see there is another there is another object also. So there is object also. But we see that there is a verb procrastinated. It's all right. I have told you the meaning of procrastinated also. That is, it means to think for a very long time, useless thinking. That is procrastinated. Now, after this verb, we have this to, we have and, so we have conjunction, we have this preposition, we have so many other words, and then we have this word of project, which we have considered it to be object. Okay, so definitely this object won't go because there are so many things before that. That is what I told you, that if this word project would have been just after the verb, then it could have been transitive. But just because there are so many other words in between, that's why we are not considering project to be the object. Okay, that is why we are considering it to be intransitive. Intransitive means a sentence which do not have any object, or a verb in a sentence which do not have any object. There is only one subject. Okay, now you understood?
Yes, ma'am. I got it. Got it. Thank you, ma'am.
Okay.
Can you
Number
explain what is auxiliary verb?
number 9. The vegetarian burger tasted like salted cardboard. Okay, tasted is the verb, and okay, over here, mm, yes, this will be a linking verb. Okay, yes, as far as I can understand this, this would be a linking verb, because neither the oh, vegetarian burger will like have any other kind of, like, it won't frame any other meaning to the sentence if the other portion is not there. So it is acting like a linking verb. Yes, tasted would be linking verb. So number C would be the correct option. Then number 10, Ellen nodded to the audience and sang her song. Now, nodded is the verb, like you're nodding your head, right? You're nodding your hands. So Ellen nodded to the audience and sang her song. Nodded is the verb over here. We can see Ellen as the subject, and to the audience, yes, to the audience. Audience is definitely the object, but see over here, there is this to. Okay, to is the preposition. So we are not considering this audience to be the object. So this is intransitive. Even after having an object, we are considering it to be intransitive. Why? Because there is this word to, which is a preposition. Okay. Next, number 11. Her brother likes bananas, but she likes peaches. Likes is the verb. Okay. Her brother
Ma'am,
is the,
again I am asking, ma'am. Then how we can choose
yes.
the object of that question? Like you are telling that this after preposition to, it is not being considered as a object. So what will be the object of that sentence?
The object is obviously this one, but just because there is this preposition, that is why we cannot consider this to be the object. Object is all right, but because of the presence of this preposition, we are considering it to be intransitive. Okay, it does not, like, what is the like definition of intransitive verb? if there is an intransitive verb in a sentence, it will not consider the object. It will have the object, but it will not consider the object. That's the difference. Okay, there is obviously an object. We can see that clearly.
Okay, ma'am. Okay.
Her brother likes bananas, but she likes peaches. Okay. Her brother is the subject. Bananas is the object. So number 11 would be transitive verb. See, after this verb, we are getting this object. Just after the verb, we have this object. We don't have any kind of other words in between, like no preposition, no conjunction. We only have this particular word, that's the object, and that is just after the verb. Okay, so we are considering this to be transitive verb. Next is number 12. Adjunct faculty are teaching in several of the lower division courses. Okay, first of all, what is adjunct? Adjunct means like in school days and college days, like each and every teacher used to have his or her own classes, right? And suppose someone was absent. Who used to teach in that class? Some other teacher used to come and take a supplementary class, right? That is what adjunct means. Adjunct means someone else is coming in someone else's class. Okay, someone else is just supplementing that class. So adjunct faculty, faculty means teacher, are like teaching in several of the lower division courses. Okay, so they're talking about lower division means the class of like the lower classes. Lower division means lower classes. The lower division courses they are talking about. Okay, let's clear this up. Yes, we have this verb teaching. Yes, teaching is the verb. We have courses as the object. Adjunct faculty is obviously the noun, because I just told you who are adjunct faculty. Adjunct faculty means supplementary teachers. So we are considering this to be subject. And lower division courses means these are the object. Like courses means obviously studies, like courses, subjects. So this is the object. But you see over here, teaching is the verb. And after teaching, we have in as a preposition, of is there, so many other words are there. So definitely we are not going to consider courses as the object. So this one is intransitive. Okay, number B. After teaching, we have in, we have of. That is why we are not considering the object. Okay, this is intransitive. Number 13, Regis Philbin, the host of Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, smiled at her answer. Smiled is the verb. It's already written, like it's already underlined. Smiled is the verb. Yes, so what is this word smiled doing? Regis Philbin, the host of Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. Yes, it's kind of linking the sentence. We can consider it to be a linking verb. No. No, not linking. Let's consider between transitive and intransitive. Regis Phil, yes, this is the verb. We have Regis Philbin as the subject and answer is the object, we can say. But just because we have at, you see at is there. After this word verb smiled, we have at. That is why we are not going to consider this word answer as the object. So it is also an intransitive verb. Yes. So after this verb, we have at, that is preposition at. So we are not going to consider answer as the object. So it's intransitive. Number 14. When the contestant completed the first test, she received another clue.
I'm sorry to again asking, ma'am. Want
Yes?
also is the verb, ma'am. Who wants?
No, the word is already underlined. Let me erase and show you. Word over here is already underlined. We need to consider only that word. We don't need to look over to other verbs, okay? See over here in this sentence, completed is another verb. So we are only going to look at these verbs which are underlined over here.
Okay, ma'am. Got it. Ma'am.
When the contestant completed the first test, she received another clue. Okay, completed is the verb, contestant is the subject, and first test. Yes, test is the object. Yes, first test is the, yes, we can consider it to be transitive. There's only this article. If there is article, we can consider it easily. We do not need to think more about it. Article is all right. In between, if there is article, we can consider it. It's transitive. Like it has subject, it has object, which we can consider it. Next is number 15. Dennis became impatient when Thomas took so long choosing a movie. Yes, Dennis became. It's kind of a linking verb. Yes, it's not doing anything. It's like becoming. Dennis becoming impatient, linking, ing kind of word, like continuous form of word is coming. Like Dennis became impatient when Thomas took so long choosing a movie. Yes, it's not kind of that doing word or action word or something. It's kind of a linking verb only. Like it's linking the sentence. Yes, number C would be the correct option. Number 16. President Clinton pushed into the crowd and shook her hand. Okay. Pushed. We are considering pushed as the verb over here. So this is the verb. It's already underlined. President Clinton is the noun subject, and into the crowd. Crowd is the object, but you all have seen, why did I say but? There is into. We are not considering this object. So it's intransitive. Okay, into is preposition just after the verb. So we are not considering it. We are not considering this object crowd. So it's intransitive verb. Next, number 17. The hiker turned. Okay, turned quickly. So hiker is the subject. Turned is the verb, of course, it's underlined. Quickly towards, no, it's the noise. Noise can be is the object, but you see over here, there's an adverb, there is a preposition, like all of them are there. So we are not considering noise or this behind him as the object. Okay. There's quickly, there's this preposition towards. So this will also be an intransitive verb. 18. Our teacher gave. Gave is the word that is underlined over here. It's the verb. Teacher is the subject. Each of us. Okay, each of us. Here, each of us can be considered as the object. Okay. So after the verb gave, each of us is the object. So this one will be transitive verb. Number 19. After the chef completed the demonstration, she left the students to clean the kitchen. So completed is the verb, chef is the subject, demonstration is the object. So definitely this is a transitive verb. We have article, and I told you article can be considered. We do not have to think again. So subject is chef, completed is the verb which is already underlined, and demonstration is the object. So transitive verb. 20. She was washing her clothes in the evening. Yes, under auxiliary, I have already told you what are auxiliary verbs like is or am, was, were, have, has, had, like primary auxiliary verbs we just discussed. So it will come under auxiliary verb. Okay. Now, the next part is also based on transitive and intransitive only. So it will be a bit easier than the previous one. Number 1. Many contemporary television programs expose children to violence and vulgar languages. So over here, first, we need to first find out the verbs over here. You see, in this exercise, verbs are not underlined. Previous exercise had the verbs underlined at least. So over here, the verb is expose. Okay. So let us now consider which one is subject, which one is object. Yes, television programs. This is your subject. This is your verb, that is expose is your verb, and which is the object? Children. So definitely this is transitive. Okay, transitive verb. Expose is the transitive verb because we have subject, we have verb, we have object just beside it. Number 2, my exam grade will exclude me from the soccer game. Which is the verb? Will exclude. Okay, will exclude is the verb. And what is the subject? Exam grade. My exam grade also you can consider. My exam grade is the subject. Exclude me. Me is the object. So this one is also transitive. We have subject, we have verb, we have object. Just beside the verb, we have this object. Number 3, Alice imagined a world full of fascinating creatures. Imagined. Imagined is your verb. Alice is your subject. A world. World is your object. Okay. Again, article is there. We do not need to think about the article. Okay. So this is verb, this is subject, this is object. So this is also transitive. Next, James ran in the park every afternoon. Of course, ran is the verb. Ran is the verb. James is the subject. Okay. In the park they have given. So what will be the answer? In the park they have given. I told you, you do not have to think about the article. Park is the object.
Ma'am,
Yes.
I have a question. Ma'am,
Yes.
full of, actually the third one, allies in imagine a world full of. Full of is a phrasal verb or of is a preposition.
No, it's not. We are not considering full of this portion. We are not even considering. We are just considering the word
You to
which is
decide
coming
it the
after.
transition verb, and then
Yes.
we have to find out the conjunction or you could say prepositions.
No,
So
that we have to find out just after the verb. Over here in sentence number 3, let's come back to sentence number 3. Here we have imagined. Imagined is the verb, like you are thinking, right? Alice is thinking. So after imagined, we have already got our object, that is world. So we are
okay,
not
after
considering. We are
okay,
not
ma'am.
even considering this portion, okay? We do not have to think about this extra portion, okay?
Okay, okay, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Yes, number 4 we were talking about, right? James ran in the park every afternoon. Yes, so I have talked about ran as the verb. So this is the verb. James is the subject and park is the object, but we are not going to consider this to be transitive. Why? Because we have this preposition just after this verb. Just after ran. Ran is a verb, and just after verb we have this preposition. So we are not going to consider the object because we have preposition after the verb. That's why it is intransitive. So number 4 is intransitive. Okay. Number 5. The tornado destroyed the entire buildings when it struck. Okay, so over here we have, as I can see, we have two verbs. We can consider both of them. One is destroyed, and the other you can see it's struck. Okay. Even if you consider one verb, it's okay. Even if you consider two verbs, that is also okay. But just here I'm talking about I'm showing you two verbs. Why I'm showing you? Let me show you and then I'll tell you. The tornado destroyed. So destroyed is your verb right now. What is the subject? Tornado is your subject, that is S subject. And what is the object? Entire buildings. Buildings is your object. So we have this the entire. So articles are all right. Adjectives are also all right. Entire means the whole building, the whole of all those buildings. So we only we will omit only those objects in front of which we will find conjunctions or prepositions. But here we are getting articles, then we have these adjectives. So definitely we are going to consider buildings as the object. So over here, destroyed is the transitive verb. Okay. Again, I'm telling destroyed is the verb, tornado is the subject, and buildings are our object. Only article is there. We don't need to consider articles. It's all right, even if it's there. Okay. So this destroyed portion is transitive. But what about struck? Another verb is there. What about struck? When it struck. Now, struck means over here in this sentence, what does this mean? It means that a person or those buildings, not person, here they are talking about buildings which have been affected by some sort of like, yeah, tornado, they have already written, which is affected by tornado. So these buildings were affected by tornado. So that is what they're talking about. These buildings are struck by a tornado. So struck over here doesn't have anything after it. Can we see anything after it? No. So that is why this word struck verb should be an intransitive verb. Okay. I just showed you this portion. Even if you wouldn't have considered it, it would have been all right. I just saw that there are two verbs. That's why I just explained. Okay. Even if you consider only destroyed, it would be all right. Okay. Number 6. I raked the yard on Saturday. So raked is your verb. The yard. Okay. I. I is your like subject. Raked is your verb. And there is article. It's all right. Yard is your object. So subject I. Verb raked. Yard O. That is object. So it will be transitive. Number 7. The boiling water Scalded my hands. Yes, scalded means, it's a new word. Scalded means, like, simple words, we can say it's injury or burn. Okay, scalded means burn. So, scalded is our verb. Boiling water is our subject. My hand is my object. Okay. So number 7 would be transitive. We have all the three without any preposition or any conjunction in between. Just after the verb, we don't have anything of that sort. Okay. We will always consider the verb. Think about the verb while considering the sentences. Next, number 8. We talked about the news all evening. Talked is our verb. We is the subject. And about the news they are saying. About the news. News is the object, of course, but about is there. So this,
Intensity.
yes.
It will be intensity, ma'am, right?
Oh, I will repeat.
So it will be intensity.
Yes, it will be intransitive. Yes, of course. Very good. It would be intransitive. Number 9. My mother washes clothes every Saturday. So washes is the verb. Mother is the subject. Clothes is our object. So very simple. Nothing after the verb is there. Very simple sentence. Transitive. Number 10. I opened the door for the lady with the stroller. Opened is our verb. I is the subject. Article is there. We don't need to consider so much of articles. Door is our object. So obviously this will be a transitive one. Okay. Now let's move over to another exercise. One more exercise we will do. Okay. This number 3 we will do. Use the following verbs in appropriate tense to fill in the blanks. Okay, what they have given. Let, make, have, get. Okay. Okay, we need to just change the form of these words in order to fit in these sentences. Okay. It's not that we have to put these exact words, but we can change the form of these words. That is let, make, have, get. Okay. Sam really wanted a dog, but his parents wouldn't dash him a pet. What will be the answer? Of course, it will be let. Okay, let. Sam really wanted a dog, but his parents wouldn't let him have a pet. Number 2. I can't believe she dash you look at her vacation pictures again last night. We have to look at those stupid pictures every time we go to her house. Okay, I can't believe she, yes, made. Yes, we need to change the word make. It will be made you look. Okay, I can't believe she made you look at her vacation pictures again last night. That is the answer. Number 3, I don't know how do you convince your children to clean up their rooms. Even I couldn't, yeah, it will be, even I couldn't, yeah, make. Do not change the word. It will be make. I couldn't make my children to clean up their rooms even if my life depended on it. Okay. Number 4, Professor Yu dash each of her students write an essay describing their future goals in life. So Professor Yu had, yes, had will go. If I change the word have is there in the option. Professor Yu had her students use a dictionary. Oh, I was talking about number 4, right? Oh. Professor Yu, yes, had each of her students. Yes. Professor Yu had each of her students write an essay describing their future goals in life. Yes, will be had. Number 5, Professor Yu, again Professor Yu, dash her students use a dictionary while they were taking the test. So, yes, Professor Yu let her students, use the dictionary. It's appearing like dead. Let her students use a dictionary while they were taking the test. The let is there. Over here, you can see let. Number 6, Debbie's husband hates the opera, but after days of nagging, like repeated request, that is nagging, most of you do, she finally dashed him to go see the new production of La Boheme. Yes, Debbie's husband hates the opera, but after days of nagging, she finally let him, let him to go see the new production of La Boheme. Oh, how will I see the words? Anyway, I remember it. Yeah, number 7. Sally dashed me take off my shoes before I went into her house. Okay. Sally made, Sally made me, Sally made me. Sally made me took off my shoes before I went into her house. She said she wanted to keep the carpet clean. Next, Rebecca Smith requested a copy of that expense report, so I dashed the courier take one over to her last week. So Rebecca Smith requested a copy of that expense report. Expense means expenditure report. So it would be, so I had. In the option there was have, right? So I'm putting the past tense of have, that is had the courier take one over to her last week. Number 9. Diana thinks television is a waste of time, so she won't dash her children watch TV. So Diana thinks television is a waste of time. Correct. Like, obviously, television, who watches television nowadays? All we have got everything in phone and laptop. So what's the use of television? So she won't dash her children. Yeah. So she won't let her children watch TV. Number 10, Sushi dashed her son take out the trash before he went to the park to play soccer. Obviously, it would be made her son, Sushi made her son take out the trash before he went to the park to play soccer. Yeah, made. Number 11, Marcus dashed me drive his new BMW. I couldn't believe how quickly it picked up speed. Marcus, it would be let me drive. It's going, right? Marcus let me drive his new BMW. I couldn't believe how quickly it picked up speed. Yeah. Number 12. How did you dash the doctor to make a house call? How did you make? It would go, right? How did you, what were the other options? Just let me check once. It was let, make, have, and get. Okay. How did you, make is already there. So how did you get, how did you get the doctor to make a house call? It would be correct. Number 13, my boss dashed me get him coffee, pick up his dry cleaning and buy presents for his wife. Yes, kind of making him a servant. Boss is making this person a servant and making him do all sorts of stupid stuff. Yes. Yeah, made. My boss made me. Okay. 14. Tommy didn't want to go to his cousin's birthday party, but his mom dashed him. Uh, mom dash him go. Okay. Tommy did not want to go to his cousin's birthday party, but his mom uh, made him go. Yeah, made him go. Yeah, Tommy was not at all interested in going to his cousin's birthday party, but his mom like made him go. 15. I can't believe the zookeeper dash you feed the snake. Uh, let? Yeah, it will be let. Let you feed the snake. That was so cool. 16. The contract was very detailed, like agreement. Contract is agreement, and it was essential that the wordings be absolutely correct. Therefore, I dash the translator recheck his work several times to make sure there would be no misunderstandings. So this contract was rechecked by the translator so that there are no misunderstandings. Okay. It should be absolutely correct. The contract or the agreement should be absolutely correct. Therefore, I dash the translator. Uh, I made the translator would go. No, you see, make is there, so it would sound kind of monotonous. Therefore, I had the translator. Yes, had will go. Therefore, I had the translator. Yes, in the options we had this word have, so I'm changing it to had. Therefore, I had the translator recheck his work several times to make sure there would be no misunderstandings. Number 17. Cheryl didn't want to wash her car, so with little smooth talk, she dashed her boyfriend to wash it for her. Quite like selfish type. Cheryl did not want to wash her car, so with a little smooth talk, she there was an option get, right? So I'm changing it to what. Cheryl did not want to wash her car, so with a little smooth talk, like with a friendly talk, she got her boyfriend to wash it for her. Okay. Number 18. If you ask me nicely, I'll dash you lick the bowl after I make the cookies. So this person makes quite nice cookies, I suppose. If you ask me nicely, I'll let you. Yeah, I'll let you lick the bowl after I make the cookies. Number 19. Jack found a fly floating in his coffee. Disgusting. So he dashed the waiter bring him a new cup. Yeah, Jack found a fly floating in his coffee. Uh, so he, yeah, it can be had also. No, yeah, it can be had also, or you can also write, so he made the waiter bring him a new cup. Yeah, both can go. Yeah, both can go. 20. The news coverage of the recent tornado was incredibly moving. Like it was quite like astonishing. Moving here means astonishing. It's not like moving. The interview with the little boy who lost his family in the tragedy, like here moving means, yeah, kind of quite, yeah, shocking type of, not acceptable, that kind of meaning it's portraying. The interview with the little boy who lost his family in the tragedy, uh, yeah, made everyone cry. Made everyone cry. Uh, yes, so yeah, so I just finished it off. Any problem you have? You want me to repeat anything in the next class from this portion? Okay, so I'm assuming you don't have any kind of problem. So I'm ending the class.